Hello everyone. Today we are going to study about the second degree of price discrimination. So, let us know what is second degree of price discrimination. So, in second degree of price discrimination, the consumer is charged upon the quantity that he consumes. This form is primarily used in public utilities like electricity, where the prices depends on how much we consume. So here the charge is basically upon the quantity that we consume. The example is electricity. Now let us understand this. So here we will divide the consumers into two groups. First is the low demand group. The low demand group is denoted by DL, which means that if the price increases, the low demand group will demand less quantity. Suppose if the low demand group got to know that the price of electricity, if they consume more, will increase from rupees 5 to rupees 5 to 6. So then due to this low they will demand less quantity. But now there is a second group, which is the high demand group. In this group price does not matter. If price increases, they will demand more quantity. Let's understand it by an example. Here we have a graph. So here I am drawing a graph. Sorry for the interruption. So yeah, here is the graph. So here is the graph. This is the demand curve for the low demand group, and this one is for the higher demand group. Let me denote the demand curve for the higher demand group by red color. Okay, so red one, just remember that the red one is for the high demand group and the black one is for the low demand group. And the area here, this is considered as A, B and C. And here the most important thing is that we will set the marginal cost at 0. We will set the marginal cost at 0 because the additional cost of producing an extra unit is almost 0, because we are selling that unit to different groups at different price, but the cost of producing that units is almost same or 0. That's why we have considered this as 0. For example, if I am supplying 10 quantities of bread, and the cost of producing that 10 marginal cost of producing that 10 quantities for me is almost 1. But the thing is that I am delivering this 10 quantities on the basis of the demand to the different level of groups. So it means that for me the marginal cost is same, and for producing an additional unit the cost is almost zero. So we consider the marginal cost as zero and make a small line here. So DH is the high demand group, which is denoted by red line. Demand curve is denoted by red line, and low demand group demand curve is denoted by black line. Black demand curve. Now let me explain this to you. Now what happens is that monopolist offer this quantity x1 zero quantity at price A to the low demand group, which is DL, and x2 quantity at price A plus B plus C to the high demand group, which is DH. Okay, since the demand for the low demand group, the demand curve of the low demand group is this, which means that they are demanding a quantity. The demand curve for the high demand group is this, means they are demanding A plus B plus C quantity. Now what happens is that if we offer A plus B plus C, if we offer x2 at A plus B plus C, it would capture all the surplus for the monopolist and will generate possible profit for the monopolist. Now, but there is a problem. Suppose the high demand consumer would find it optimal to choose the quantity x1 and pay price A and pay the price E, which would then leave them with a surplus equals to B. So what the monopolists do now is that they offer x2 quantity at a new price, which is A plus C. Now the high demand consumer find it optimal to choose x2 and receive a gross surplus of A plus B plus C, where he pays A plus C. What it means is that suppose the monopolist was offering the high demand group at the extra service at the price A plus B plus C. Now what the high demand group thought was that it was optimal to consume x1 unit of good at price A rather than paying extra B plus C amount of money for extra unit of good. Now what the monopolist do is he saw that this will lead to loss. So now to cope up with the situation, he sold the additional unit to the high demand group at A plus C, okay, at the price of A plus C, and the surplus amount left with the high demand group was amount B. I hope you must have understood this. Now let's move to the next page. Now here is the second graph. In the first graph we saw that the monopolist was offering x1 unit of good at price A to the low demand group and x2 unit at price x x2 unit at price A plus C to the high end demand group. Now what happened here is that instead of offering x1 at price A to low demand group, the monopolist offer a bit less at a price slight less than A. Means initially he was offering this, but now he has reduced the quantity and now he offers this much, which is depicted by the less line, red line. Now the area, the black area, it's the small triangle here. It is the loss that he has incurred because he is selling less to the consumer. Okay, so which will reduce the monopolist profit by the colored triangle, black colored triangle. Now one person one package, which means the low end group package, low demand group package is less attractive to the person 2, which is the high demand group, because now if they choose to consume x1 good, x1 amount of good, but they are unable to do so because the monopolists have reduced the quantity and is charging the same price A. So now what happens is that due to this they will not find it optimal to consume x1 amount of good. Okay, now the monopolist can charge more to person 2, which is the high demand group, for extra commodity x2. By reducing the x1 amount of group, monopolist make area A a little smaller. Here we can see that area A has become smaller. Now if area A has become smaller but the monopolist has made area C bigger, so the net result is that monopolist um, in, will have heavy profits, or the monopolist profit have increased. Why? Since the area of A have decreased, but now the high end group would have to pay more to consume much more amount of good too. And the shaded area in the red and the area between the red blue line and the above the black colored triangle is the marginal benefit that he got from lowering down the prices. Now the third condition is that suppose the monopolist further lowers down the prices. Okay, he was offering x1 to group A, to low demand group, but now he is offering x1m amount to the low demand group at price A. It means that the low demand group have been worst off. So now the monopolist further reduces the quantity offered to the low demand group, which is the person 1. So the low demand group have to choose x1m amount and are charged at rupees A. Now person 2, which is the high demand group, chooses x2 amount of good and is charged A plus C plus D. Means if the high demand group consumes more, they would be charged A plus D plus C, and the person 1, which is the low demand group, end up with 0 per surplus, since they are paying more for the less quantity, but person 2 ends up with a surplus B. The surplus B is shaded with the black area. He ends up with the surplus B since he is paying A plus D plus C for the additional quantity that he consumes, and he is left with B, which is the surplus that he is getting. I hope you must have understood this. If not, just go just read Hal variant once, then you might understand it.